Yes, guys, it's Brad back again with another video, and welcome to Premier League predictions with Brad. So, it's a third week we're doing this now. I know it's the 13th week of the season. You'd be like, where you've been for the first 10 weeks? But because I've been struggling to do United previews since the Glazer staying news, it's yeah, it has been hard, so I just thought do something different and do some Premier League predictions. Okay, let's start off with the big one already, which is Manchester City versus Liverpool. Guardiola versus Jurgen Klopp. This game is going to be, hopefully, this game is going to be the game it usually produces, a breath of fresh air, attacking football, end-to-end stuff, competitive, controversy, there always is in this fixture. Again, Manchester City, I'm going to go with home advantage, because it's, City are that good, and Liverpool easily could come to the Etihad and take all 3 points. They could. I think I'm expecting a lot of goals in this game. And my prediction for this one, I've gone with Manchester City 3, Liverpool 2. I think it's going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be a really feisty game at the Etihad tomorrow to get the Premier League back in action. After an international break, though, teams do usually play quite with a slow pace and tempo, which can be quite irritating for some. But I'm going to say that Manchester City take all 3 points in this game. Next game is Burnley against West Ham. Two teams struggling at the moment for form. West Ham did get a win before the international break, just about beating Nottingham Forest by 3-2. They are 9th in the Premier League and they are above Chelsea in the table, which isn't all bad for West Ham, but they have been struggling a little bit. Burnley, they're bottom of the Premier League on 4 points. A win for them could take them out of the bottom 3. Everton could go bottom, and I'll get on to Everton later, obviously because of the points deduction. I think in this game it is going to be, I'm going to go for a shock on the cards here. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Burnley. Yes, I'm going for Burnley to win and keep a clean sheet. I don't know how that's going to happen. West Ham are a quality side, but sometimes they don't always turn up. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I'm going to back the Clarets in this one. I'm going to say Burnley 1, West Ham 0. Going into the next game, Luton Town versus Crystal Palace. Luton, very new to the Premier League. Crystal Palace, this is actually their 10th season in the top flight since they were promoted back in 2013. And Palace, I have always said that they are probably the most stable club outside of the top 6 in the Premier League, I would say. I have to say they've coped really well with the sale of Wilfried Zaha going to Galatasaray, and they are pretty much where you'd expect them to be, with whether you've got Zaha or not. In this one, it's going to be a tight game, I think. I think it will be a tight game. I'm going to go for Luton 0, Crystal Palace 0. I think it will be a really dull affair. But I said that about Palace versus Everton, and it ended up being a fantastic game. So definitely could be wrong on this one. But I'm going to go 0-0. Newcastle United hosting Chelsea at St James's Park. Newcastle have a lot of injuries, and I think in previous years Chelsea would have been the favourites going to St James's Park, although they have struggled there in the past. But obviously since the Newcastle takeover, Newcastle are now, expected to beat Chelsea. I think Chelsea going to go to St James's Park and get all 3 points in this one. I'm going to go for Newcastle United 1, Chelsea 2. Going into the next game, Nottingham Forest versus Brighton. This one's a bit of a complicated one for me. I think Brighton have had a little bit of a dip in form. I think balancing the Europa League has been is also a factor. It's not that bad. They did draw 1-1 with Sheffield United, who were bottom of the Premier League at that time. I think that would have been very annoying for Brighton fans. They did go down to 10 men, to be fair. And they went to Everton and got a 1-1 draw. A 1-1 draw with Fulham. And a 2-1 loss at Man City in a game. They played pretty well. They have drawn a lot of games recently, Brighton. I think their last win came against Bournemouth when they won 3-1 back in September. But they're not in bad form. They're... Like I said, they are drawing a lot of games. I'm sure they would want to stop the rot. Nottingham Forest, for them, they did pick up a surprise win against Aston Villa, which was important for them. And they've been in poor form. They played well at West Ham. I'm going to go for a Forest win in this one. I'm going to go for another high-scoring game. I'm going to say Nottingham Forest 3, Brighton 2. Sheffield United versus Bournemouth. This is a huge game at the bottom of the Premier League table. Bournemouth are looking for their first away win of the season, while Sheffield United are looking to win their second game of the season and go 3 games unbeaten. I don't think either of those things are going to happen. I think one of them slightly will. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one. I think Sheffield United will continue their mini unbeaten run. I think it will be a 1-1 draw at Bramall Lane. Going into the next game, the 5:30 kickoff between Brentford and Arsenal. This one is a game that I'm happy that Aaron Ramsdale is going to be playing, because he has done nothing wrong to not be playing. David Raya, of course, is on loan from Brentford, so he wouldn't be able to play. Ramsdale, I'm hoping for him that he has a performance of his life. Although I'm not an Arsenal fan, I believe he should be playing. So for me, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Arsenal win. And I'm going to say Ramsdale is going to have a very good second half and pull off some great saves to possibly give Mikel Arteta a selection headache ahead of the future, because it has to be said that, he has got a very, very good goalkeeper there in Ramsdale, and it would be such a shame if he left the club, and he's done so well. And, he's got good morale with the teammates, and Raya's been making some mistakes, and Arteta's been sticking by him. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But I think Arsenal will get the 3 points in this one. It'll be very hard fought, but I think they'll get the job done. Okay, going into Sunday's fixtures then. We have got Tottenham Hotspur versus Aston Villa. And I think this one is a hard one. Tottenham have lost their last 2 after their great unbeaten start. They lost to Chelsea and lost to Wolves. The Chelsea game, I think as soon as it went down to 9 men, I just thought the game's lost now. And the way that they kept going with 9 men, with a high line and everything, the risks that they took was actually commendable. But in this one, I'm going to say it's going to be another tight one. I'm going to say 2-2 in this one. I think it's going to be, I think that Spurs will get a late equaliser. I think Villa will be looking to hold on, and Spurs will get a very late equaliser to earn a point, to avoid 3 defeats in a row. I think it's going to be, I think it's an entertaining one. Two teams who play good football, but at the same time, you know, it's a tough one to predict. Everton versus Manchester United. Everton, 10-point deduction for breaking an FFP rule. They're taking it to Parliament. They're taking it, you know, to appeal against the Premier League. Everton fans are fuming. They are going to be so pumped up for this. And you do not want to be the team that goes to Goodison Park when they are riled up. They're going to treat this game like it's the Merseyside derby. I don't really think Everton haters... Do Everton haters? I don't know. I don't think they do. But anyway, Manchester United, when they go to a ground and they're up against a team that are really up for it, the atmosphere is absolutely rocking. It is very difficult for Manchester United to cope in those conditions. They are like the perfect whipping boys. And I wish I wasn't saying that about United. I wish I was saying that about another team. But it is true. United are true whipping boys when somebody's mad. And Everton are mad. And they're going to be coming for United. And I think that they're going to beat Manchester United. I'm going to say Everton 3, Manchester United 1 at Goodison Park. United weirdly have actually had a really good run of form, despite playing like shit. It's weird, and Ten Hag's got a better win percentage than Sir Alex, which is insane as well. So, yeah. There's also talks about everything going on at United, change at United with apparently Paul Mitchell coming in, and I forgot that guy's name now, who that guy's name, who apparently is like the Messi of bringing in transfers. I think that's the word. You know, I think it's important, and I think it is just more insane as well that United could be banned from European football as well because Sir Jim owns Nice. So, honestly, I really don't know, and it just makes me think the Glazers are so stupid for refusing to sell against United fans who hate you, want you out of the club, and you're in full of debt, and some absolute legend comes in to save you from Qatar, buy the whole club, fix the stadium, but still, there's bits of concrete landing on fans' heads. Yeah, I had to have another Glazer rant there, I apologise. But I do think Everton are going to beat us. I think it'll be 3-1 to Everton. And finally, on Monday, probably the least attractive Premier League fixture of the weekend. And it really isn't one that I am interested in watching. And I don't mean to be disrespectful to either team, but the fixture just does not appeal to me. Fulham against Wolves. I'm going to say 0-0. Yeah. 0-0 draw between Fulham and Wolves. Nothing more to say, really. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below your predictions and thoughts on these games. See you all soon. Bye-bye.